Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, produced in partnership with the Sherlock team at Cross Country Mortgage. I'm your host, Gina Yager, founder and director of GYC Vegas, an award-winning PR and marketing agency. We believe every company has a story to tell, and we're passionate about getting businesses and organizations recognized. At Get Your Chat On, we sit down with local professionals to get to know a little bit about their organization, their role, and their perspective on doing business in our vibrant community here in Southern Nevada. And on today's episode, we're chatting with Pilita Simpson, founder and CEO of Positively Arts, a Las Vegas nonprofit that fosters emotional resilience and confidence through innovative arts-based programming. With a commitment to providing equal access, Positively Arts offers a wide range of programs from classes and camps to mentorship opportunities with working professionals, all designed to equip young people with the skills and confidence to become future leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. Pilita has performed around the world as a vocalist, actress, and MC for over 20 years and holds a master's degree in arts education from Harvard University. Hi, Pilita. I'm so glad that you're here, and I love talking with you.
I love talking to you too, Gina. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay.
You're an equally as smiley person as I am.
I just always, yes. So tell, for people who don't know what Positively Arts is and isn't as involved as I have been, tell everybody what you do and how you support the youth in Southern Nevada.
Yes, even though you said it so beautifully at the beginning, I'm going to give you some in a nutshell versions because it's more easy to digest. In a nutshell, we are a safe space where kids can express themselves without any fear of judgment, and we really dig into every child's why. So what I mean by that, we're not a place where people just come to sing and dance and do musical theater or make video podcasts or write stories. It's when a child walks through our door, our main mission is that that child gets to discover who they are, what their strengths are, and what are their special gifts that they have to offer. Because a lot of times in school, in their life, at home, at church, whatever it is, no one really stops and asks that kid, really, not only what do you want to be, but the why. Because what you want to be sometimes, I want to be a doctor because my mom always said I should make money and I want to be rich and I want to be a doctor. Yeah, but why? That question is not asked enough. And sometimes a child doesn't even know how to answer it when we first meet them. So when they walk through the door, if they pick a song, it's not about them hitting perfect notes. It's like, why did you choose that song? Why do you connect with it? And all of a sudden, there's layers. Well, my grandpa used to play this when we go on road trips. Oh, tell me about your grandpa. This. How do you feel about grandpa? I miss him. What did he teach you? And all of a sudden, this kid is getting bombarded by questions that all are how he feels or she feels. And there's just not enough of that in this world. There's not enough people paying attention to the why. And I think that's why, especially through the pandemic, when kids were isolated and we saw upticks and suicidal ideation, it's because we weren't checking in and we forgot to ask kids, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Why do you feel this way? So it's our main mission at Positively Arts, just to make sure kids still love themselves and they feel confident in who they are and they have a chance and a space to explain.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the types of programs that you have.
Yeah, so we started, my heart is musical theater. I was a singer for Disney for 10 years, and I think music and theater is one of the best ways to express because you get to play a character other than yourself, and that's when you get to learn a lot about how a child expresses their strengths and weaknesses. So we do musical theater, we do voice, we do piano lessons, we offer programs pretty much all day, every day. So if you're a homeschooling family, we have programs available from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you're in public school, we have programs from after school and weekends. We pretty much serve any and every child and their needs.
Mm-hmm. And how do people find you, and how do they get involved, and what if they don't have transportation? How do they get to you?
So most of our programming is in person. We're at Whitney Ranch Rec Center, or we're also centrally located where the 15 and the 215 meet on Decatur and Sunset. Mm-hmm. And in our studio, we offer the voice, the dance, and all of that. And you can find it on positivelyarts.org. Mm-hmm. And our schedule is there. But we do offer virtual classes. We serve some immunocompromised kiddos from our partnerships with Cure for the Kids Foundation and Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. So we'll do digital visual arts classes. We'll teach them how to draw, or we can do virtual voice lessons. We've even taught dance through our virtual studio as well. So if you have a kiddo who can't get to us, that does not stop us. We'll curate something so that they can enjoy that confidence through the arts.
That's amazing. I never knew you did that. Yay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about your true calling. This is what you were meant to be doing. How did you know that? When did you first realize that?
I think so. Can you tell my mom that? So I had a very traditional upbringing. Like you said, I did go to Harvard, and I have a master's in education, and my dad was a doctor, mom was a nurse, lots of doctors in the family. And I was that child who was told, you're going to be a doctor like your father.
This is your future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, you know, first generation immigrants from the Philippines and Iran, my mom and dad wanted me to have a better life and more things than they had. But at some point I realized that's not who I was. No one asked me why. So that's why I created Positively Arts. In my childhood, I was set on a path, and I was like, oh, pre-med, start medical school, that's what you do. And in 1999, when I got a call to be a good friend of Pocahontas for Walt Disney, I looked at my stack of medical school books, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. I want to go sing for Disney. And that started my journey on utilizing the arts and the transformative power of the arts to just build my own confidence and try to figure out who I was in my mid-20s, because no one had asked me, and I didn't take the time to even figure that out. So I went through a lot of crazy things, and I think falling and failing throughout my career at Disney and in New York allowed me to realize that I needed to create a place so kids didn't go through what I had to go through. The self-loathing, the self-doubt, feeling like I was never good enough, you know, imposter syndrome. And it was only through my participation in positive arts experiences did I truly give myself the time and space to figure out who I was and what I wanted. So that's when I knew it was my calling, after I failed in the arts. So just being in the arts doesn't make you an awesome person. Right. There are a lot of terrible arts organizations out there because they focus on the win, on the prize, on being the best. It's all about having this perfect performance. And I was like, no, you are underutilizing the power of the arts here. It's about the journey. It's all about the journey and checking in. I named my daughter Journey as a reminder to focus on the journey, and don't put that pressure on a child. Stop making them be the best. And did you get the award? It's not about that. What did you discover about yourself while you were learning that dance or that song, or while you were writing this piece? So I hope I answered your question.
You did.
In a multitude of ways.
Of course you did. Your journey to today, you talked a little bit about that. What are some, additional milestones that maybe shaped, your journey?
I mean, my biggest milestones are my failures. And I don't like to think, like, my successes are great, but I'm the type of person that when I quote unquote succeed, I don't even realize I'm succeeding. To me, it's just something else that's awesome. And I view my failures and my falls again as excitement on, oh, that didn't work. what am I going to do? And I think having that resilience, that's what we try to teach kids, is that resilient attitude. If something is going to happen to you, and it's going to be really bad sometimes, but you have to laugh it off. You have to just have this kind of, be in your ick for a little, just cry it out, and then just move on and say, what else can I do? And sometimes you have to pivot completely. Sometimes you have to say, that is not for me. And all of that is okay. And I think teaching kids that malleability is just so paramount in having a social and emotional well child.
You make me want to be a kid again all over so that I can go be in your programs. And because I think it would change any child into having a different experience.
And parents don't know, this isn't part of Common Core. There's no parenting 101 class where if you have a child, don't have them focus on the outcome, have them focus on the journey. No, that doesn't exist. Like, where are they going to find this out? It's self-help books. It's amazing podcasts like the one that you're doing right now. That's how parents and families get the tools and the resources they actually need. So thank you for putting on a podcast like this where you connect us with amazing pillars of the community who are doing it right, so that people who don't get to learn it in school, they can learn it through outlets like this. So thank you.
Of course. I think I know you're going to answer to this, but what gets you motivated to start every day? What's your motivating spark?
It's the kids' faces. Like it's so addictive when I walk into our studio and those kids, oh, Miss Pilita, and then there's the hugs, and then you just get to be silly. And my favorite thing is to respond to a kid like what they just said to me is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Like, Miss Pilita, I made this DNA double helix, because we serve homeschooling programs. We teach Common Core curriculum through the arts. So we had them make a DNA double helix from Twizzlers. And this kid's like, look at my double helix. And I was like, oh, that is the greatest. And it's tasty. Tell me about it. And every day, you never know, because I work with the most innovative, amazing coaches who come up with some stuff that you have never seen. And these kids are the imaginative play that goes on in the studio. So that's so motivating. Is I honestly can't wait to walk in the doors to see what these kids are creating and to just respond with so much excitement so that they can share it with me.
You know what that reminds me of is, so last year, I think it was the year before, when we were serving Positively Arts through Leadership Henderson, I got to know about your annual musical that the kids put on, that they write themselves. Talk about that, because I think that's the coolest thing. I sat here and watched this 2-hour musical.
Oh my gosh.
That was written by the kids who were starring in it.
Yes. So that came from, we used to just have kids come and do a 1-hour class or a 2-hour class. And then someone years ago was like, why don't you do musicals? And I always thought like, something's stopping me from doing Beauty and the Beast Jr. and all these other things.
Right.
And I couldn't put my finger on it. But then I realized, I don't want kids to regurgitate someone else's thoughts and beliefs. I want to utilize the format of a musical as a cathartic expression of what these kids are going through. Because nothing is more interesting than if you ask a kid what they're going through and, oh my goodness, do they... So I was like, what if we had the kids write a musical about their trials and tribulations, their trauma and drama? And oh my goodness, it was hilarious. So 3 years ago, they wrote the audition room, and then it was the callback, and then it's the rehearsal, and then next is the show. And it's literally their opportunity to finally play a character that they are in control of. Because too many times in this life, a kid is told what to do, what to say, how to say it. And I said, no, you literally can create anything you want, and you can write your own song. So I give them show director of Walt Disney, Juan Cantu. He was like their musical director, and he helped them write their own original songs, produced by Robert Lacey or Santino, or I would help them write. And it's like, that was way more rewarding. So now when a parent came to watch the musical, it's like they're getting a glimpse of a version of their child that maybe they didn't even get to see. It's like, there's so many layers of goodness there. Why wouldn't you? We're all about original work at Positively Arts. Kids are writing their original songs, original music videos, musicals, vignettes. And that's what I love. That's the heart of who we are, is original work. And just, you're able to really give them a place to, like you said, express themselves, but really allowing them to be able to do that. Kids are so much more capable than we give them credit for. And you're the perfect example of bringing that out in them. Oh, thank you. And they're good. It was so funny. Which one did you see? The callback?
I saw the callback. Yeah. I did. I wanted to go this year, but I had something going on that day. Yeah.
We'll have an encore for you.
It was great. Let's talk about pushing boundaries. So how would you say what you do, your work, pushes the boundaries of what's considered possible?
I love that you say pushing boundaries, because literally children come into this world meant to push boundaries. So neurology was kind of my focus when I was at Harvard. And what I loved and what I discovered is that neurologically, a child, literally everything they do is pushing boundaries. And they want to yell and be loud. And it's up to those around them to kind of give them those boundaries just enough so that they can still discover who they are. But if you tell a child no too many times when they're in that pushing boundaries phase, that's when all the insecure attachment, not having confidence. So Positively Arts is all about what boundaries do I create that make a kid feel safe, but they still feel free to push them? You know, and it's such a balance, and it's such a wonderful thing because every child pushes boundaries in a different way. So I think we as an organization, we take the kids' lead on pushing boundaries is we don't have a lot of things that are set in stone. Mm-hmm. And a lot of businesses are like, well, how do you do that? Like, why do you not have a set curriculum? It's like, because I don't know who's about to walk through my door. Like, I create programming based on the beautiful soul that walks through. And every child learns in a different way. There's divergent thinking, there's different learning styles. And unless you take that into account, you're not going to have a successful program. You might think it because you have money in the bank, but that child's not going to leave your program feeling satisfied and fulfilled. The way to ensure success, and my definition of success is probably way different than others. Success is when that child looks at me and goes, oh, I had that moment. I did the next step, or I feel great. Or you just look at them in the eye and you know that it was a success. It's not a monetary thing, you know? So I push boundaries in the sense that we are perfectly limitless and perfectly unstructured and perfectly malleable, you know? We allow for so much, but it takes some pretty amazing coaches. And I have one of the strongest teams of humans who are experts in their field. My director is a Broadway legend, you know, Grammy winning, Tony nominated, and then master's degrees everywhere. Like, these are killer people who are not doing that now because they chose to dedicate their life to these kids at Positively Arts. And I feel so honored to have people like Delee and Melissa and Maria. Like, I'm just so honored because it takes a certain kind of coach with the patience to let a child push a boundary in front of you and not be offended because they didn't follow the rule. It's like, no, let's see where they go with it. And then you guide it with kindness. You know, you always bring it back with kindness.
Yeah. I would also echo that you are blessed to have those people and to find them here too and be able to. Oh,
Vegas is
they're busy.
Rife with amazing humans. And that's why I love living in this community. Because if you take the time to attend community events and network, you'll find people do not give Vegas the credit it deserves. Like, we're the debaucherous city, sin city. It's like, no.
Nobody knows till they live here, right?
I know. So if you don't live here and you're listening to this,
right,
there are some wise, amazing people here. Yes.
Yep. Let's talk about an upcoming initiative. So what have you got going on right now? Upcoming events or programs, new things?
So we just finished Get Launch Vegas by our new Director of Artist Development, Clint Holmes. And he is my favorite, him and his wife, Kelly Clinton Holmes. They've kind of adopted us, and we've created a showcase series based on their tutelage and guidance. And it's all that kind of, how do you give kids the tool to have their own thing? So starting in January, we are extending our showcase series and other master classes where you learn from people like David Perico, Clint Holmes, Kelly Clinton Holmes, Lily Arcee, the lead singer of the Raiders House Band. So that was one of the benefits because I performed in Las Vegas as a professional entertainer. I headlined on the Strip. I had my own headliner show at the Strat. I met these people. So now my friends, I rope them in. I said, if these kids want to learn, I want them to learn from you, the person who's doing it every night, the person who's singing at the Raiders game or on Broadway or touring. So I am so, again, blessed that people like Clint and Kelly and David and all these people, you get to learn with them. You can take a masterclass with these epic people, and it doesn't stop there. So Clint has invited kids to sing on stage with him at the Smith Center. David Perico has invited some of our kids to sing. They've recorded albums. People have sent them to New York to do Broadway stuff. Like,
really? Wow.
The networking is crazy. And it's all my mentors and my coaches. I love them so much.
I love that. Yeah. That you've found people who want to help with what you do and who believe in the same way. You believe in your approach in the same way.
So blessed. Awesome. So yeah, look out for programming on positivellyarts.org.
And I know it's always changing and evolving and bespoke, depending on who the child is.
I know.
So we're talking about doing business in Las Vegas. It's all about who you know. So we're going to do some Mad Lib about networking here and doing business here.
I'm ready.
So when doing business in Las Vegas, it's essential to have a solid strategy for
networking and community building.
Bespoke,
alone. And everything you do here either is for the service of others or in partnership with others. So I would build in like hours of your day committed to going out in the community and supporting other people's events, meeting people with the only purpose of learning more about others. Yes,
absolutely. The key to networking in Las Vegas is to always remember to,
this is from my husband, remember to be more interested than interesting. So remember to listen. You will have time to speak. And there's just so much wonder that comes from looking at someone in the eye and showing them and giving them the courtesy that what you're saying to me in this moment, I hear you and I love it. And I'm going to acknowledge and give you credit for the things that you are sharing with me. Not a lot of people have that skill to listen. So yes, work on your listening.
It's very important. Exactly. In Las Vegas, it's not just about business. It's also about
it is. I love my community. I mean, business, it's so weird. I forget I run a business. I know it's a nonprofit, but a nonprofit is a business. But I approach every day as a gift. Every day I get to wake up and bring joy to others. It's a gift. And I know it's a business, but I'm in the business of gift giving. Like children give me their gifts of their talent, and I hope I can give them the gift of my listening and guidance. I don't know if I answered your question, but
you did. Of course you did. One thing every new transplant should know, so we were all transplants at one time moving here, is to never underestimate the power of...
never underestimate the power of, again, it goes to, so when you listen to someone, don't just like pretend to listen and nod your head, like actually understand their journeys and like what they did and give them credit for it. So I love uplifting the people around me and acknowledging their wins. Because again, you don't have to always go to parties. I can't wait to tell people how awesome I am. You know, this isn't like everyone come see how good I look. No, it's so exciting to meet people and then validate what they're doing, because then people are going to want to be around someone who genuinely cares about them. And if you come into it and you think Vegas lights, I got to be perfect. Like, no, be a human. Like genuinely treat people like they're your family.
Yeah.
Because if your grandkid came in the room or someone or your husband's telling you something, you would actually care. Just approach people with that same care and you would be amazed at what, you know, the universe or God brings
back to you. Yeah. It's infectious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to connecting with business contact over coffee, drinks, or lunch, you can't go wrong with meeting up where? Where do you like to go?
I love Lazy Dog at Town Square. I love Yard House. No, it's right by me.
I know. I know. This is down the street from Positively Arts.
I like going on Starbucks walks with people. So I'll like grab a Starbucks and then just go walk on a trail and walk and talk.
That is a great idea. And I don't think we get out, even though we've got so many trails and wonderful places around here, we don't get out enough, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Grab a drink and walk and talk with your peeps.
So how do you I mean, you're a busy lady, you're running this nonprofit that's, you know, you're at 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. How do you unwind at the end of the day?
See, I'm weird. Activity unwinds me. So I'm that person who walks probably 6 miles a day. I do CrossFit in the morning, and then walking, it's because I did cross country track as a kid.
Okay.
I think just being in the zone of walking, that's how I unwind. I actually can't sit still.
You can't sit still?
It brings me anxiety.
Really?
I know.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you're one of those people that does not stop until their head hits the pillow.
Yeah, my husband will be like, she's 100% and then 0.
Wow. Power down.
Yes.
All right. A few more questions. And these are so fun. I love the fantasy type questions of, you know, get to know a little bit about what you dream about. So if you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
I've never been to Greece, but I always, just the white and then like I just want to be there. I just want to be there and walking and then in the river,
more walking,
paddling like in the canals, eating really good food.
Yes. That sounds lovely. Greece. What did you want to be when you grew up? Because you didn't want to be a doctor.
No, I for real thought I was going to be a ninja. Like,
I love that.
So the show Alias, Jennifer Garner. I'm such a sci-fi like fantasy nerd. Like I wanted to be some kind of superhero ninja elf. Like I thought I was going to be Black Ops. Like, oh, I'm just a teacher, but meanwhile, I'm saving the world. And I know how to do I can MacGyver all these things. Like, yeah. I still kind of want to be that.
That's really cool. Yes, in another world, you could be.
Yes.
If you had a superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
Ooh, you're talking to the dungeon master and me. For
well,
all
you
of
are a dork.
I'm a DM. Yeah. I would yield 2 swords. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Can I manifest things like a genie?
Yeah,
like
of course.
Apparate. Yes. I would make things
appear. Okay.
Tangible. Like,
I like that.
Yeah.
Make a wish come true.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done? And would you do it again?
Oh, goodness gracious. I think it's like pushing the boundaries of physical activity, like my CrossFit-y stuff. Okay. I haven't jumped out of any planes or done anything like that. But when I do like my races or lifting weights, it's things I didn't think I could do physically. I've been through a lot of medical stuff where, you know, when you don't feel like your body, you can control it anymore. So I think having those physical gains, like, haha, body.
I can just picture you box jumping. Like you probably can jump really high, huh?
I just back squatted 145 today.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a lot, but I'm only 6 months into CrossFit. It's okay.
Yeah, baby steps.
It's a personal win. Yeah.
This is like I like this one for you. But if you could swap lives with any fictional character, who for a week, who would it be, and what would you do?
Oh goodness, can I go back to Jennifer Garner?
Yeah.
Only because that character of Alias, she was everything. So she got to create characters. So one day she's at an elegant ball in a gown, and then she's like skiing down the mountain, chasing the bad guys. But I don't know, I feel like, but she was so powerful, but she knew she had a solution for everything. And I feel like in my life, I'm a problem solver and I want to have a solution for people. So being the type of human who always could save the day, that's just super cool. So I'm going back to Alias.
Okay. I love it. That's our wrap for our conversation. I mean, we could talk all day, but we got to end somewhere, right? So, it's been awesome chatting with you. Tell people how they can learn more about Positively Arts and, get involved or like support you.
Oh,
or
yes. We're doing this
kids
super
get involved
fun thing. So I started it with my kids. My kids just have a lot of stuff, and I'm not big into gifts, like giving gifts for the holidays. I like to gift experiences.
Yeah.
So 70% of our kiddos are on scholarship because I believe that money should not be an obstacle in a child gaining confidence and figuring out their strengths. So for the gift for giving this holiday season, you can give the gift of arts programs to a child who cannot afford it. And we do have a waiting list of kids who want to take programs, and we just need to be able to put them together. So if you have a kid, it's really fun to sponsor another kid. So my kids are 6 and 8, so they're going to sponsor a 6 and 8-year-old for Christmas this year, and they're going to allow that 6 and 8-year-old to have programs at Positively Arts, and we're going to put the money into them having a month of programming.
Okay, and so are you going to put something about that on your website?
It will be on the website, and then if you just join our newsletter, go to positivelyorts.org and join our mailing list, you'll get all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, perfect. And your socials are accessible through
Facebook, Insta. It's at Positively Arts.
At Positively Arts. Perfect. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Be sure to follow us at GYC Vegas on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our channel wherever you stream your podcasts. And if you want to learn more on how your business can enhance its marketing efforts through the power of PR, visit our website at gycvegas.com. Thanks for listening to Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, and we'll see you next time.